there's, the people were doing this in the 90s, right? And the Games Press did a great job of defending video games against those charges. They've done a much less good job. In fact, they've done no job at all of defending it against feminists who are just as wacky and just as crazy as the old religious right. And in fact, the feminists say all the same things. They hate the same things. They hate nudity and violence. All the same stuff. And this is why some very clever Brendan O'Neill, who's a wonderful columnist in Britain, wrote in The Spectator a great thing about, it was a provocation, but it was interesting, about how feminism looks quite a lot like Islamism in some regards. Because it hates the same things. It hates female nudity. It hates, and it asks for the same stuff, and it uses the same language. I did a silly quiz in my column about Anita Sarkeesian, who was the leading feminist critic of video games, or Jack Thompson, who was the 90s religious right guy, and I just sort of lined up a load of quotes from each of them and asked you had to go and you had to pick who said it, and nobody got more than 5 out of 10, which is my point.
Right.
They say the same things,
the
same language, and it goes to that difference. It's not really about left and right. It's not really about politics anymore. The most important political distinction in people, since as more of our lives move online, more of our discourses online, as more people navigate the internet, what the internet has done to politics is very interesting. It has turned every major culture war and every major discussion into a row between authoritarians who want to control how other people live and libertarians who either want to escape into fantasy worlds because they know to escape whatever's going on in their life, or simply classical liberals like me who believe in freedom of expression, freedom of thought, liberty of idea, and believe that it is essential for the good of our species, if you like, if you want to get serious about it, that we can talk about everything openly and honestly, and that there are no-go areas.
That's very eloquently put by Milo. I get a little emotional about this. I'm not even a gamer. I guess it's just the injustice of the whole thing, and the willingness of the ironically titled social justice warriors to openly, blatantly lie and disingenuously twist the argument to be an attack on women and minorities. However, in the back of my head, I know a justice of sorts has prevailed. Ironically, again, as a society of gamers' own justice warriors have shown with irrefutable and conclusive evidence that their accusers are using desperate ad hom attacks and other logical fallacies. And thanks to these karmic shitlords, gamers have all the evidence they need to see that their suspicions were indeed justified.
I'm what my colleague at Breitbart, Alan Bakari, calls a cultural libertarian. I'm not a libertarian politically speaking, but I believe that in culture there should be no boundaries and that we should be able to explore everything. Video games are assailed on all sides, from the left, from the right, from everybody, by people who want to restrict the acceptable limits of creative expression. I think. Now, this is him dealing with this other woman, some card thing they're doing.
Okay. I think after watching so many of these social justice warriors in various videos, I believe I've developed some form of social justice ESP. What? You don't believe me? How dare you? Okay, I'll provide a conclusive demonstration to assuage your misplaced skepticism.
Okay, you right there. Purple shirt, yes.
Oh, you.
Of course, there can also be higher stakes. We could say, for instance, if I win this hand, I get to kill and eat you.
Oh, everyone loves me. I'm such a moral crusader.
Another thing is, if you win the hand, then I would have to submit and have sex with you.
I'm not even joking. I know you want me. That's it, bitch. Taste my social justice juice, bitch.